It's been decades you've been criticizing capitalism, you've been criticizing the economic system. But I understand why you keep that now that you're so spending too much time and so much, you give it more attention, because that same system now it happens to you. Now you start to feel it. Now we've been saying the same thing, like the rest of the world have been complaining about this system, but you didn't want to listen, because of that same supremacist mindset. That system that you're talking about, first of all, it's not an abstract system or idea. It didn't fall from the sky. It was created and maintained by people, real people with real addresses. Those banks were built by people, and it was imposed globally through colonialism by people. Your ancestor created it. Your civilization exported it. Your governments enforced it globally through sanction, economic warfare, and when necessary, bombs and military intervention. But here's the thing, this machine wasn't built to lift people up. It was built to squeeze everyone. And now it's squeezing you too. And that's why you're making all this noise, right? About the system, and we need to fix this mess, and maybe it's this group, always, blame shifting, because this is another characteristic of the West. But it's working exactly like it's supposed to. Like it's working, like the system is perfect. It is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It's flawless. The only reason that you're mad is because you don't understand it. Even those people that claim to be expert, claim to be educated, this isn't human nature. Other civilizations organized wealth completely differently, often treating excessive accumulation as morally wrong or socially destructive. But see, Europe chose a different path. Starting in the Middle Ages, white European banking families, the Medicis in Florence, merchant houses in Venice, later the Protestant banker of Amsterdam and London discovered they could make money just by controlling money itself. They turned finance from a community service into a private extraction machine. See, when they established the Bank of England in the 1694, they created something unprecedented, a central bank run as a private business. Imagine, running a bank like it's a business. White European, Christian. And listen, I'm very precise with my word. I know what I'm saying. That's why I'm using this specific word. That this is not like attacking. I know the word I'm using. So these financiers literally gave themselves the power to create money, loan it to the government, and collect interest on it. They had privatized currency control itself. This is feudalism 2.0, the one that you're living in right now. These medieval lords owned land and extracted tribute from the peasants. These banking families became the new lords, and money became the new land. And once this model proved lucrative, they exported everywhere through colonialism and economic imperialism. See, what drives this system is this overriding mindset of materialism. That one idea that doomed the West from the very start. It has emerged from a deep sense of deprivation, because Europe is a very harsh environment. And this isn't just about wanting nice things. This is a worldview that literally cannot conceive of anything beyond material existence. There is no spiritual dimension, no higher purpose, no meaning beyond accumulation. This materialism become the foundation of what we call modernity. But let's call it what it is. It's sociopathic materialism. Under this system, moral values and principles aren't just secondary, they're treated as decorative extras that should never ever interfere with productivity. Compassion, no, that's impractical. Justice, it gets in the way of profit. Community bonds, inefficient. The West thinks of human dignity is tied directly to productivity. If you cannot produce, then you don't deserve food, shelter, or peace. Your worth as a human being is measured entirely by your economic output. But see, this is the system that we're talking about. Because it's not an accident what you're seeing. It's just a logical conclusion of that system that sees people as resources to be exploited. And not just people, everything needs to be exploited. Because the acquisition of things becomes the highest good, no matter how you achieve it. Savage oppression, that's just necessary for growth. Deceit and treachery, they call it smart business. Theft and violence, that is just being competitive. Any virtue that might slow down these machines, like honesty, peacefulness, or genuine care for other, gets redefined as impractical virtue, which is just another way of saying it's a vice. This mentality doesn't stop at borders. It extends to the systematic exploitation of entire continents, their minerals, their labor, their talent. The most resource-poor region of Europe have developed this twisted belief that they're entitled to steal from others because the universe somehow owes them, as if their lack of natural resources give them the moral right to pillage the rest of the world. And this is the psychological foundation of the system that we're trapped in. We're all trapped in. It's not just you in the West or Africans or Asians. Everybody's trapped in this system. It's a spiritual sickness that has infected the whole world. I know what you're gonna say, bringing up that old anti-Jewish propaganda. Yes, we know the Rothschild became powerful banker in the 19th century. But they didn't invent this system, they joined an already established game created for centuries by white European Christian financiers. And that's why I said I'm very precise with my word, because those are the people. Now, I'm not saying they did it because of the religion, because of their Christian, but they were Christian. They created it, they created the system, they maintained it, and exacerbated the problem. Nobody is bringing religion into it, but you like to bring the Jews into it. See, this conspiracy that the Jews control global finance is historically backwards and conveniently ignores who actually built these institutions. The Bank of England, the East Indian Company, these major colonial banks all founded and controlled by white European Christians. When Jewish families like the Rothschild gained prominence, they were an entering system that had been extracting wealth globally for centuries.